Hello and welcome to this brief tutorial about Brightspace. My name is Anthony Carabache. The purpose of this tutorial is to show you the basics of how Brightspace is organized and to get you started. Brightspace is technically known as a virtual learning environment, and like with any environment, the more time you spend in it, the more familiar you will become with it. Let's take a moment to consider how Brightspace is organized and how you can leverage that organization to your advantage. When you log into your Brightspace environment, you have essentially logged into your school. Once you've entered your initial login and password, consider yourself standing in the foyer just in the front of your school office. The first thing you need to do is find your classroom so you can walk through the door. Look across the top of your screen and you will see a home button, your school's logo, a grid of 9 little squares, an envelope, speech bubbles, a notification bell, and your name. You may or may not see the exact menu in this demo, but the basic elements will be very similar in your own environment. This is the foyer of your school. The 9-square grid is where you will see your class. Consider that grid like the front door to your classroom. Your school board may also have organized the front page or the foyer to have a small widget or area called My Courses. You may also see your course in the classroom in that section. To enter your classroom, simply click on the grid or in the My Courses widget and enter. Even seasoned instructors will forget to enter their classroom and stand in the foyer for a few minutes trying to find out where their students are. Once you're standing in front of your classroom, you'll have a few tools at your disposal. Again, note that the ones that are available to me in my demonstration may look different in your environment. If you look across the top of my classroom, you will see an option for me to edit my course, a button called Course Home, Content, Dropbox, Discussions, Chat, Surveys, Checklist, Groups, and Class List. These are the tools in my version of the environment. They may look like text in your version, but they could also look like icons. Also, on the front page below, you will see a banner which may or may not be turned on in your school board's environment. Below that banner, you will see the News option. The News option is the single most powerful tool in the Brightspace environment. If you can manage using the News tool in your first week, then you're already ahead of the game. Now all those buttons across the top look overwhelming, but really, you're going to master 3 or 4 at most. Today, we're going to look at how the environment works together through organization. Now let's go back to that news item. The news item is a tool that uses something called an editor. We will go over how to use the editor in another tutorial following this one. That editor will allow you to embed text or media. Let's consider the news as the first layer of organization. The news is drawing your students' attention to something for them to engage in. Now that you have your students' attention, you need to send them somewhere in order for them to engage. In Brightspace, activities are organized into modules. Consider modules to be like folders or containers. The only thing you really need to do with modules is name them. For example, if you were doing a study on fractions, then simply name the module Fractions. If you prefer to name the module by date, then name the module by date. If you prefer to name the module by theme, then name the module by theme. Once you have your containers set up and named, it's time to fill them with activities. In the Brightspace environment, activities are called topics. Topics look and feel exactly as a news item. In fact, Most items in Brightspace look and feel the same, so that once you've learned a skill, such as using the editor, you can transfer that skill everywhere. Topics contain text or media, as well as directions to the participants so that they can understand what is expected of them. Topics can be filled with rich content, such as instructions, YouTube videos, music recordings. Finally, topics can lead your students to places like Dropboxes, which is what Brightspace calls a submission area, and discussions. It is highly recommended that before you begin any discussions with your class, you first talk to them extensively about the importance of etiquette through the lens of the Catholic digital learner. In fact, I would suggest visiting the Catholic graduate expectations of the effective communicator, caring family member, and the responsible citizen before their first post. Now that you've gotten a sense of how Brightspace is organized, the next tutorial will show you how to create your first assignments.